Welcome everyone to the Med Spa Accelerator Podcast, brought to you by Everable Marketing, the go-to resource so you can get the latest hacks and best practices to market and grow a profitable medical aesthetics practice. My name is Maripili and I am obsessed with all things business, marketing, operations, numbers, and helping you grow and take your med spa to the next level. This is the Med Spa Accelerator Podcast, Season 2. So I have conversations again and again on what are some of the big things that I should have in my marketing for my med spa. And so whether you are just starting or you are already a little bit more established and you just want to rethink things, and even if you are a really big practice and have been doing this for a while, there might be a few things here and there that you need to implement right now and make sure that you have. These are things that are going to give a great impact on your marketing, right? So today is a little gloomy day in South Texas, but I sometimes kind of enjoy those days a little bit more. It gives me this like really chill vibes. And I ask Luis usually to make me a matcha. He's so good. He's such a barista. And I just finished my matcha and I had my computer. It's one of the best days to create content, I think. It just puts me in this like really smooth, chill mood. So I'm really excited about making this podcast today. So, okay. The three things that I think are going to make the most impact in your business are, first off, your internet presence, right? And starting with your website. Inside your website, we want to make sure that you have several elements, right? And I actually have a downloadable that you can get right now on the 5 things that you can have on your website and do today to make an even better impact. Now, some of these things are, as simple as your homepage has to have you, right? So I want to see your face, not some stock photo, right? I want to see a little bit more of you doing a procedure or you doing a treatment. Invest a little bit on a photographer that can take really good photos of you, and you can be on your website, either you or your staff. Maybe you're not as involved, but your staff is. So make sure that you show up, because at the end of the day, people do business with people. And in this day and age, going back to standing out from the crowd, we want to trust somebody. We want to trust a face. And so if you're not there, one of the first things that I want you to do is go ahead and do that, right? Make sure you're there in that homepage. Now, second to that, the other thing that you really want to do is make sure that there is some sort of call to action. Whether that is a book now, and might be a little bit stronger, right? But you want to have that there, book now. Make sure to make it easy for people to book online, or call now, right? That is a second option to have. Maybe not the best just yet, but you want to have a call now action. And the third to that would be a pop-up of some sort, so that you can, if anything, bring them into your database, right? You want to give some value. So whether that is a 20% off or a first-time buyer special, or even a giveaway, that would be huge. Like a giveaway where they can enter a raffle, right? In exchange for their information. So we would want to get their name, email, and phone number. So we really want to get that information. So that we can later on have a drip campaign to still indoctrinate them and still nourish them, so that whenever they're ready to buy, we are the obvious choice. And now the other thing that I really want you to have on your website is a map, right? I want to make sure that, and you would be so surprised at how many websites I'd go and it doesn't say where they're at. And it would be obvious to you, like, hey, I'm here in, Boston. So of course people know that I'm in Boston. Well, not all the time. Especially if you live in a big city or even in a conglomerate of cities, you want to make sure that people it's easy for people to click on it so that it can take them, so they can get directions. So yes, you could also do like a cool, cute looking map for your website that kind of complements. But at the end of the day, honestly, I would just go ahead and embed your Google Maps, right? Embed that map so that people can click on it and it can open their app in their phone and get those directions. Because at the end of the day, people will make the decisions too based on how close you are to them. And it is way easier to get somebody that is closer to you than maybe 30 minutes away, right? So you do want to make it easy. So not just your address, because people might not know exactly where you're at, but we want to have your address and a map, right? So you can know where you're at. Now, that brings me to the second point, right? Which is Google my business. And so Google has a lot of different tools that you can use at your disposal. One of them being your listing. So if you don't have it yet, and go right now and Google your business inside of Google. And if a profile appears and it says there, claim this business, go ahead and click that right now for your business, because you need to have access to that account. If you go in there and you don't see anything just yet, then make sure to start your account already, right? Just go Google my business and start your account. Create that for your business. That is where you can add photos, where you can add your times, when you can add interactions, where we want to send people to give reviews. We want to make sure that everything is connected with your website, your social, everything, right? We want to have as much information in there as possible. And now, even more, Google is actually adding this messaging system, kind of like Facebook Messenger. And I think it's kind of slowly rolling in, but there might be a point where people are actually messaging through Google. And so we want to make sure that you have that set up and that you have a process in place so that you're checking those messages on the daily or on the weekly, however busy you can get, right? And so if you are using PatientGem, you know that you can actually integrate that. So you have one platform where you can see your messages all across your other platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Google, right? As well as your text messages. But if you don't, then you need to make sure to have either a process in place or find a software where you can integrate as many as possible so that you only have one place. Your staff only sees one place where they can answer all of those messages. Now, second to that, it's opening Google Analytics. And this is a little bit different, and that's why it can get confusing. Whether you have an account with Google My Business, that doesn't mean you have Google Analytics. You have to create a separate account for that under the same email, under the same name. It's pretty easy. You can just Google those instructions. They make it pretty user-friendly up to a certain point. But you want to attach your website and your domain, or domains if you have several, to Google Analytics, because you want to start building onto that data. And so within that data, you can really see how much time are people spending on your website. What is the most attractive page? How much time are they actually spending in each section? And how many users are they new? Are they returning? Where in your area are they coming from? And you really want to know what is happening so that you can strategize on what to do next, what your next move should be. And maybe you might not understand every single thing in there because it can get really technical and complicated. But if you're partnering up with a marketing agency or you're hiring somebody in marketing, they should want to know these numbers and really understand what is happening in the back end organically and what happens when you're actually adding some paid advertising, right? Now, the next thing that I definitely suggest for you to do if you haven't started already is creating a database. What does this mean? These are the people that are interested in your services. And so we want to start building onto that database because we can really leverage that in the future, right? And so we want to nourish these people and really be top of mind and constantly on their inbox, on their text messages, so that they remember us. And so whenever they are ready to purchase, we are, again, the obvious choice, right? The place to go. Because honestly, as somebody that might want these services, my first thing is going to be go to Google and kind of look for microneedling in my area. And so I'm gonna start seeing all of these lists of people around me and businesses around me. And so it can get really overwhelming. Who do I choose? Who do I go to? Unless I ask my friends like, hey, have you gone with? Honestly, it's gonna be really awesome for me to just go with whoever my friend went. But, sometimes that hasn't been the case. Maybe none of my friends have done any of these services before. So it is me trying to figure it out, right? And so what's really going to make an impact is to actually make sure that your business presence is there, right? Because my thought process will be, I'm going to go to the website, check out who they are, what are they doing. I'm going to check out their social media, their Instagram, see who they are. So again, going back to your website and your photo being there, if I can go to your Instagram right now, and if you're not in the first 9 to 12 photos, then you need to make sure that you're there. You need to start posting yourself because people want to make business with people. Right? We want to know who we're dealing with. We want to know who's going to be assessing our body and our face, and why should we trust them. And then, of course, the fun part, social media. You want to make sure you are present in social media nowadays, whether it's everywhere or in one specific place, right? I think you've heard me say before that it can get really overwhelming thinking like, hey, I have to have a Facebook strategy and a Pinterest one and on Instagram, and now I have to do TikToks, and then I have to do YouTube videos, and I want to be everywhere. Okay, if that is you and you're getting overwhelmed, then just choose one. Right? My recommendation would be to choose Instagram because it is really easy to integrate with Facebook, and whatever you post on Instagram, you're posting on Facebook. Plus, you also get the short videos like TikTok with Reels, right? So that would be my recommendation. I would still encourage you to little by little start expanding. But at the end of the day, we would just want to make sure that you are present and that you are updating these, right? Choose a platform where you can actually be in it, where you can actually be posting continuously, and not only as a post, but also be on the stories and interacting with other people. That is what's really going to make an impact and a difference, right, on your social media presence. Because when they Google you, you're gonna be able to see your website if SEO is being done right, but also your social media profiles. So you want to give at least some attention to them. Okay, so second to that, the really big thing that we want to do is start building a database. This is a list of people that are interested in our services, right? And it is a list that we can leverage and make sure that we are continuously nurturing them and offering our services, so whenever they are ready to buy, we are the obvious choice and somebody to go to. And so how can we start this, right? So there are several ways. We can go the organic route, which, like going back to the website, we want to make sure that we have that pop-up and we have the call to action to gather their information with either a giveaway or something or value to them, a downloadable, an ebook, a coupon, a special, whatever that looks like for you, and that you feel like it's going to give a lot of value to your customers. We want to make sure that they have that at their disposal and exchange it for their information. Now, second to that, you can say, okay, I created this. How else can I go about it? How else can I tell people about this? And so the second thing would be use your online presence, right? Use your social media platforms to tell people about this freebie that you have. Hey guys, remember that for anybody that signs up, we're giving a 20% off in microblading, or we are giving an extra $50 off your package whenever you sign up here. And so we want to take them to either the website or a specific landing page so we can gather their information. That is the simplest and most organic way to go about it. Now, you can tell me well, what about a giveaway on social media? Yes, that is a good strategy when it comes to just online presence and branding and exposure and engagement. That is great, but it's not really going to get us that information that we really need and want, because we're just getting their social media profiles. And what we really want is, again, their name, phone number, and email. So what we want to do is take them to the website, right? So they can sign up there. And in order to do that, to take them from where they're currently at, scrolling, to their website, we need to make it really enticing, right? So that they can actually do that extra step, and really easy and convenient too, so that they can take that extra step, go to the website, sign up, and then they can go back to scrolling. Now, the other really big thing of how to go about it is with paid advertising. You want to start creating ads specifically for your services and take them through a specific funnel, right? We want to guide them into this system so that we can get their information. And it is actually going to help a lot, because we will know exactly what service or services they're interested in, whether that be a microneedling ad or a body contouring ad or a Botox and fillers ad, right? So we want to know where they're at, and we want for them to click on that ad so we can gather their information, to input their info so we can gather that. And then we can start creating our database that way. That is through paid advertising. So we are putting some advertising dollars behind that, and we might be getting a faster, a quicker return there, right? That doesn't mean that you shouldn't be doing the organic thing. I think you should still be doing that, because it can both be very continuous, right? But it's good to have a little more to both. Now, second to that, once you have this database, like, okay, great, I have this database, what do I do with it? You cannot just keep those people in there and not do anything about it. You have to have a strategy in place. You have to have a way to start this relationship, right? First off, you're giving something of value to them. The next thing is that you want to continue giving value. You want to continue giving them enough information about your services for them to really understand what is it that you're selling, right? And so if you are a little bit like me and like to have everything perfect before putting it out there, I understand, right? So I would suggest do at least 5 to 10 emails. And this might be really short but nice looking emails where you talk about your services, what they are, what they do, the transformation before and afters, customer testimonials, you name it. You want to have all of those in there, and just divide them into small chunks of information, right? There are so many platforms out there where you can make this really simple, very user-friendly, and just create these emails already. Of course, if you're using PatientGem, and I'm a little bit biased on PatientGem just because I really enjoy how it works and everything's so integrated, but you want to create these emails, have them in your software. And so as people are coming into your database, you want to give those emails out, right? And so you want to drip this campaign little by little, and still making sure that you are communicating with them and making sure that in each email there is a call to action. What do you want them to do? Call now, book now, learn more, read more, right? You want to make sure that they continue this conversation. And then last but not least, the huge thing that it's going to really help your marketing go to that next level is your customer journey. And we have a whole episode on customer journey with a downloadable of what that should look like. But what I really want you to do is really sit down and create this outline, create this journey for your clients, because what's really going to help you stand out from the crowd is you and the experience that you give your customers and your clients. So you want to make sure that that specific experience translates in every single person that comes in through the door, which means that you want to treat them the same every time. So there has to be a systematic way and approach to this, right? So that when they come in, this is what happens. When they come into your system, they get that welcome email. When they actually come into your practice or they call, this is what happens. When they come into your practice to their consultation, this is what happens, right? You offer them some beverage, or you take them into the consultation room and maybe you offer them a robe to change in. What happens afterwards? Do they take anything home with them? What happens after they book a treatment? Do they get a message, or do they get a notification from you? Do they get a complimentary phone call? Whatever that looks like, we want to make sure that you have every single step really laid out, so that every customer that goes through your business goes through that same journey. And it's just going to make such a difference in the way you are training people, but also in the way you're training your staff. So it's almost that like you're duplicating your efforts, right? You want to make sure that everybody knows exactly what to do at each stage. And you want to make sure that you are listing both the human interactions and any automatizations that you have, right? So whether that is a text message that is being triggered, or an email that is being sent out, or a voicemail that is being sent out, you want to make sure that you have every single step in that journey. Once you have that, it's going to, again, make such a huge difference in your processes and systems, and make it simpler and easier to train somebody new. But it is also going to help you understand your business a little better, and understand where leads are getting stuck, or what is happening. Are they not booking? Are they not buying? And so you can go back to that stage and really see what is happening, and maybe just change a couple of things in there and see that flow of people coming back in through that. And so those would be my big 3, right? Going back to your social, and so those would be for me the big 3. Your online presence, huge. Get on that database. And 3, make sure you have your customer journey. These are the things that are really going to make an impact on your marketing and the way you are putting your message out there into the world. Now, if you have any other questions, make sure to message us. And if you want to know how we translate this into working with our clients, then you can schedule a free strategy call with one of my team members, where we can really talk about what is going currently on in your business. How can marketing help to get you to that next goal? If you like this video, make sure to give it a huge thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe and click the notification bell, because we put out content every other week so that you can help your business grow. And if you haven't already, make sure to join our Facebook group, the Med Spa Accelerator Podcast, where you can see a lot more content, free downloadables, and interactions with other Med Spa members. I'll see you there. Bye.